Kenny Golladay is now the best available wide receiver in free agency. Allen Robinson got tagged by the Bears. He might still get traded, but we'll see what happens over there. And Chris Godwin gets tagged by the Buccaneers. They had said all along that he wasn't going to go anywhere. They keep their word. They tag him. It does look like he's going to stay with them. So now the best wide receiver available is Kenny Golladay. And Kenny Golladay, I like Kenny Golladay. He was hurt last season, but he's a big presence. He's a big body wide receiver. 6'4", 214 pounds. Physical wide receiver. He kind of reminds me of Malcolm Floyd, ex-Charger wide receiver. 6'5", could go get the ball anywhere. Plays big, knows how to shield the cornerbacks using their body. Is physical off the line. That's what Kenny Golladay reminds me. One red flag for him. Next gen stats keeps track of the separation that wide receivers get per yard. They track every wide receiver for every route, and they see how much separation you get in every route, and then they put a number to it. That's how many yards you get. Kenny Golladay was ranked the worst wide receiver in separation in 2019 and 2020 by Next Gen Stats, meaning he doesn't really create a lot of separation in his routes. So if you're a quarterback, you have to really trust him. You got to just throw it to him. When he's not open, you just got to believe in Kenny Golladay that he's going to go up there and he's going to get it. Or you just got to put it high, put it stretched out. He has a big radius. Like I said, he's 6'4", 214 pounds. His radius is huge. If you watch his highlights, he makes some tough catches. He goes up and he gets the ball. I really like Kenny Golladay. I understand these next-gen stats really give you some insight on players, and they give you different numbers that you can analyze in different ways. This is one of those stats that would really bother me or concern me if Kenny Golladay was like a 5'11" wide receiver, 188 pounds, ran a 4.22, and was known for being a shifty slot guy. But Kenny Golladay, he's 6'4". For the most part, you're going to have him outside. If he's covered, you're going to throw it up, back shoulder. Just put it high for him. He's a threat in the goal line. He could get touchdowns. He led the NFL in receiving touchdowns in 2019. So I do believe Kenny Golladay has potential to be, if not a low-end number one on most teams, he could be a bona fide number two on a lot of teams. So I'm looking at the Dolphins. I'm looking at the Packers. I'm looking at the Ravens, the Colts, the Jets. There's a lot of teams that could really use Kenny Golladay. We all see what the Buccaneers did last year, just stacking the deck on wide receivers, giving Tom Brady as many weapons as he needed. I'm talking Mike Evans, Godwin, Antonio Brown, the rookie wide receiver. They went 5 deep at wide receivers. These super teams that are forming in the NFL is going to be a trend. So these teams that are mentioned are like the hot ones that people are talking about that he could go to. But even if you're stacked at wide receiver, even if you have 1 or 2, I would not be surprised if somebody makes a run for Kenny Golladay and just like, you know what? You got to have weapons nowadays in the NFL. You got to have weapons. You got to outscore people. You got to be able to have enough counters for the best defenses in the league. Realistically, I think Kenny Golladay is either going to be a Dolphin or a Colt. The Colts are one of those contending teams that need a wide receiver. T.Y. Hilton, he came on strong last season in the second half. He was hurt a lot these last couple years in the beginning of last season, but he came on strong last season. He is a free agent. I don't know if the Colts are going to keep him, maybe at a cheap deal, or he walks and he goes somewhere else, but he's at the latter stage of his career. The Colts need a number 1 wide receiver to put next to Pittman. And the Dolphins, they need a lot of weapons. If they keep Tua, they need to help him out. They need to put some weapons around him. If they don't keep Tua, if they trade for Watson, then Watson could probably make it work with whatever's there. But if you give Watson Kenny Golladay, he would make the most out of him, just like he did with Fuller, like he did with Cuggs, just like how he did with Hopkins. Watson will make it work with anybody, but I think the Dolphins and the Colts are the most likely destination. People are talking the Packers too. That sounds great. If I was Kenny Golladay, I would love to go to the Packers. Being across Devontae Adams would be amazing. Getting balls thrown by Aaron Rodgers, which a lot of people say throws the prettiest ball, throws one of the most catchable balls in the league. That would be amazing. I would love to go there. A real contender, a balanced team. But it's the Packers. They never really go out and make big free agent signings. That's why I don't rate the Packers higher. I would love him to go there. I think that would be exciting. He would stay in the division. He would really stick it to the Lions for letting him go. He'll play them twice a year. He could do a lot of damage to them. But I think the most likely destinations, he goes to the AFC. He goes either to the Colts or the Dolphins. Or maybe, I think he wants to go to contender. Personally, I would want to go to contender that could, realistically pay him. So the Dolphins might be the best choice. But if he wants to go to a rebuilding process, if he wants to go with a young quarterback, he might just go to the Jaguars. They'll get Trevor Lawrence, help Trevor Lawrence mature, help rebuild the Jaguars quickly. We'll see where he ends up. Kenny Golladay, I think he is the best wide receiver available. He's a borderline number 1 on any team. He's a bona fide number 2 on a lot of teams. And we've seen that you need weapons in the NFL. The Buccaneers prove that. The Chiefs keep showing it. You need weapons. I would not be mad if he goes to any of these teams, but I do want him to go to the Dolphins or the Colts. I would prefer if he goes to the Colts. I think that would be a great signing. But if I had to put money on it, I would probably say he's going to the Dolphins.